right, welcome back to the channel. Today we offer up proof that Gervonta Davis did not duck one of the best fighters in boxing, as Eddie Hearn reveals new details around the contract that he has with Shakur Stevenson. Let's talk about that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. Man, I cannot wait to put a fork in this one. If we did not already have enough proof that many of the rumors around Gervonta Davis and Shakur Stevenson were false, we now have ammo from Gervonta Davis's rival Shakur Stevenson's his promoter, Eddie Hearn of Matchroom Boxing, who shared information about the contract that he has with Shakur Stevenson. And guess what? Shakur Stevenson has Gervonta Davis on that contract, but it is in the third fight of the deal. Now, before I get into the details and explain to you how exactly this proves that Gervonta Davis is not ducking that man and y'all can slow down, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you're new to the channel, hey, hit that subscribe button. If you've been here a long time, thank you for coming back again. And thank you to anybody that supports in the super thanks in the comment section below. It's a great way to support channels. But let's get into this, because I get really, really tired of this line that Gervonta Davis has ducked everybody under the sun. Now, he is one of the biggest names in boxing, so I understand there being anticipation for certain fights to take place. That's common to boxing. It happened with Floyd Mayweather. It happened with Oscar De La Hoya. It happened with Muhammad Ali. It happened with everybody. Mike Tyson. When is he going to fight this guy? When is he going to fight that guy? Now, acknowledging the fact that you want to see him fight other people is not the same thing as saying that you know that he's been ducking and avoiding the guys that you're trying to see him fight. In this instance, we're going to talk about Shakur Stevenson, who has a 3-fight deal with Eddie Hearn. What are the 3 fights? The first fight is the fight that is coming up next, and that fight is Floyd Schofield, and it's going to be on the undercard of the Dmitry Bivol Arthur Beterbiev rematch for the undisputed 175-pound championship. So he's going to be fighting on, that's the first fight on Shakur Stevenson's list with Matchroom. The second then is William Zepeda. William Zepeda, I do believe, is a Golden Boy fighter who fights on the same network that Shakur Stevenson fights. He's the mandatory, I do believe, for the WBC, or let me say this more correctly. He's in position to be named mandatory by the WBC. So those are 2 fights that he has on that contract, according to Boxing News 24. And the third, according to Eddie Hearn, is a fight with Gervonta Davis. So what do we know? We know that Shakur Stevenson is unavailable. And that Shakur Stevenson is probably going to be unavailable until 2026 at the least. He has a fight coming up. So say his next fight is somewhere around September. He's going to fight again next year in 2026, early 2026, maybe sometime around January, February timeframe. Now, in the meantime, I'm sure we're going to have people continually talk about how Gervonta Davis is ducked, he's ducked, he's ducked, he's ducked. When somebody is unavailable to fight, you can't duck them. And I told you this the first time when Shakur Stevenson, after Shakur Stevenson was on this channel. It was like Shakur Stevenson said that they will fight, but he was not in any rush to fight Gervonta Davis. And he was very clear that, hey, he had to figure out exactly where he was going to go, because Shakur Stevenson, was with Top Rank, and he left Top Rank, and now he moves over to Matchroom, and Matchroom has fights for him. So please, let's chill on the idea that Gervonta Davis somehow is responsible for the Shakur Stevenson fight not taking place. And despite arguments like, well, he had a long time to do it. It was a long time. They both been pros for a long time now. So shouldn't they have had an opportunity to fight? No, they have not had an opportunity to fight. They were in different weight classes the majority of that time. And then Shakur Stevenson became the mandatory for Devin Haney, and then fought for the championship. And now he's in the left Top Rank, and now he's in a 3-fight deal. I hope that will silence the critics. Now, speaking of critics, I have to make a statement or observation about the news article. This information came from a news article on boxingnews24.com. Very, very good opinions that these guys give. I don't always agree with them, but some of them are very, they're noteworthy. In this case, they talked about the fact that if Shakur Stevenson goes through this kind of gauntlet with Matchroom, that there's a chance that he won't be available to fight Gervonta Davis, because he very well may lose. The author of the article gives him a Shakur Stevenson opportunity or a possibility that he may lose to Floyd Schofield, or that the Floyd Schofield fight will be so boring that he will lose market value by fighting that way, more market value by fighting that way, according to them. Shakur Stevenson is always going to be somebody that's positioned to fight somebody, because he just won't lose. And, the style is not the most exciting, but it's not always boring either. So there's a very good chance that he can have an exciting fight with Floyd Schofield. It's going to be interesting to see the fight. But then there is, of course, William Zepeda, and this person prognosticates that there is a high likelihood that Shakur Stevenson, who doesn't have tremendously high punch output, may get overwhelmed by William Zepeda. My personal belief is no, you can forget that. Shakur Stevenson is about to beat both of those guys, just like Gervonta Davis is going to beat the guys that are in front of him. And eventually these guys will match up and they'll fight. Then, of course, you have another young gun out there who's coming up, or two people really that are coming up in the 135-pound division, which is another guy that's got a fight coming up, and a guy that just had a fight last weekend, and that is Keyshawn Davis, who is going to be fighting Berinchik on, I think he's fighting on February 14th. I think his fight date is February 14th for his WBO belt. And he should win, because, Bob Arum is only putting people in, young folk in, young boxers like Keyshawn Davis, if he thinks he's going to win, which would bring about another competitor for Shakur, even though Shakur says he's not going to fight him. Ugh, crazy stuff. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. Please let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out.